This is my Sort Nuke build, tailored mainly for clearing vaults and hell tides. The thing is so much fun.
Warning, nuclear missile launched.
Well, the reason why we play games is because it's fun. Proccing the Frost Nova enchantment from our Lightning Spear is a blast. We'll have instances where the spear goes off screen and annihilating everything, and it's just a matter of us walking up to pick up the loot. With that said, the core of this nuke build are two non-negotiable enchantments named the Frost Nova and the Ice Shards enchantment, and they go hand in hand. While everyone is hyped up on the new Starfall helmet for Season 3, I, on the other hand, was very excited for the buff on Ice Hard Pants, which was improved and which was given a maximum roll of 30% to cast a free Frost Nova. By the way, all the clips shown on this video doesn't include any other uniques such as the Shaco, Starless Skies, or either the new Stones, all of which would have greatly benefited the build that we're currently running. But we can get by without them since we're pretty smart on our gear aspect choices that we have made. First of all, this is not your typical classic Ice Shards build that we must have seen posted on YouTube for maybe 1,000 times already. Although we still slot the Ice Shards on our skill bar, we barely use it. It's mostly used to target structures which cannot be frozen or like stranglers. The thing about Ice Shards is that it has a very strong damage modifiers on the Paragon board, and the skill by itself gives a natural 25% damage multiplier, but it's very conditional as mobs needs to be frozen to take advantage of those large modifiers. During the release of the game, people mainly only relied on Frost Nova skill as the only reliable way to freeze the bad guys, but new items such as the Ice Hard Price has somewhat opened up new interesting ways and builds to freeze the enemies. Note that this build is specifically tailored for running vaults or maybe hell tides, but it's not particularly strong versus bosses since bosses can never be frozen. Hopefully Blizzard addresses this in the future and they could have the bosses on a frozen state at least so we can enjoy the bonuses while not physically frozen in game. Anyhow, this Season 3, I see no reason to run Nightmare Dungeons as they're generally longer and you'll have instances where there's little to no density. And the loot awarded at the end of the vaults are practically around 4 times the amount compared to regular Nightmare Dungeons. We have 3 sources of applying freeze on this build. The first one we've mentioned already, the Frost Nova enchantment, which has around 2 to 3% chance per mob to cast a free Frost Nova when the Lightning Spear hits them. Lightning Spear has been recently improved and provides vulnerability whenever it critically hits. The second way is through the Blizzard skill, which chills the enemies and at a certain point freezes them eventually on the Blizzard area for around 2 or 3 seconds, that is. The Paragon board also provides us around 30 to 40% damage reduction against chilled enemies, which comes in very handy when running high tier vaults or dungeons. On top of it, we're also using the Snow Guard aspect, which provides us with 25% damage reduction while we're under the Blizzard spell and 3 seconds after we leave the Blizzard area. Lastly, if all else fails, we still have the Frost Nova slotted to instantly freeze them bad guys. Now, thing is, the Elementalist aspect, the one which gives you 40 to 60% crit chance when your mana is above 100, doesn't work with the automatic eye shards enchantment, which by the way is our main damage dealer. But there's a roll found on both the boots and amulet, and it reads the increased movement speed up to like 40% for 4 seconds after you kill an elite. And the vaults are filled with lots and lots of elites. This works really well with Isus, as we can get almost a 100% critical chance. For the first time ever, we're also going to be using the Shimmering Frost Nova. That's the one which gives 4 mana for every mob that gets hit with Frost Nova. Since we're auto casting tons of Frost Nova, our mana is almost full, and we're using the Edge Master's aspect, which gives us an almost 100% uptime on the 20% modifier the aspect provides. Lastly, although we didn't slot the Firebolt enchantment, we have the fire damage reduction versus burning in our offhand and the chest, since the new robot thing is also providing fire damage, which gives us around, depending on your gear, around 15 to 40 at maximum, I say, damage reduction versus burning.